What's up? This is Azazel Fallen with a gold medal guide for American Distillation in Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, I kept looking for guides for this myself, and especially on replay, because I just couldn't find any. Everyone that put up a guide seemed to have done it on their first try, or they would have a save game beforehand. And I was thinking it was actually not possible to win the race there for a while. Now, I'll give tips throughout the video on how to do the different objectives, which are win the race back to camp, complete the mission without taking any damage, get 10 headshots, and complete with at least 70% accuracy. So I'll come back when I have my next tip. It'll be here in just a moment. Alright, now once you place this guy down, you're going to wait for Arthur to say something when they start going into the track about needing to blow stuff up in the moonshine still. Once you get the line from Arthur, you can then move over to the place where you have to place the dynamite, because it'll give you a head start on the other dude that's going to be there with you. And you need a head start because there's only 14 enemies to my count. There might be like one more that I didn't count the corpse of. About 14 to 15 enemies, and you have to get 10 headshots. So it's a very, very tight timing on actually getting all the headshots.
Good work, gentlemen. I think that's it. Well, what do we do now? Sure, anyone but him.
Now it's very important you get these three first dudes before Bill gets there. Try and make sure you get your headshots, try and be quick with your Deadeye, and just try and get your headshots as much as you can. You'll see me a little bit later in the mission go to check my progress on getting the headshots, and it actually glitched out and doesn't tell me while I'm inside the mission. But normally it will. Normally you can just hit left on the D-pad, bring up that menu, and check where you are in objectives. But it's very important you try and keep behind cover when you're not actually shooting, so you don't get hit because you can't take any damage. But just try and pick your shots and do the best you can. I do miss a couple here, but I still get the 70% accuracy. A tip for right here is make sure once you get these two dudes down, this dude and the next dude right here, there is going to be a dude who comes through the door on your right hand side. And he can very easily screw up your don't take damage section.
Hey, fucking son of a whore!
Now here comes where we're going to start the tips for winning your horse race. It's something that I figured out after a little while, because normally it's not worth it to loot bodies in a replay, because you don't get any of the shit that you'll loot. However, you're looking for a horse stimulant. If you can get a horse stimulant off one of these dudes, which normally one of them has one, it'll be here in a bit when I actually get mine, but you just loot them until you get a horse stimulant, and then you will actually be able to win the race a lot more effective, because they stick you with the Tennessee Walker. It's not that good of a horse, and it's rather slow. If you have your own horse, it's normally a lot easier, because by this time in the game you at least have a decent horse. If you got the DLC pack, you have your thoroughbred, which will just trounce Dutch without any issue. But make sure you get your looting done. Try and get a horse stimulant. That's basically what you're looking for. One horse stimulant and you can easily win the race. And you can see how I do that here in a little bit once I actually get to the race section. But I do apologize for having to watch me just sit here and loot stuff. But it is what you do need to do to be able to get the horse stimulant, so you can actually win the race here in a minute.
Well done. Well, forgive me, but me and my men must return. Okay.
Should I stash this somewhere near camp, boss?
Yes, show it to Hosea. I'm sure he can find a use for it. Bit of trouble back there, Arthur?
Ain't there always? From what they was yelling, I think they were the buyers.
Old Archibald didn't ask too many questions, so neither should we.
I ain't planning to.
That was worth the effort, though. Deputized and hiding in plain sight. These lawmen, these two families. I mean, I really think we can play this from all sides. It's got Hosea written all over it.
This is starting to sound like the young
Okay, so also here, if you try and move Dutch and press him as fast as you can, because it doesn't use your stamina, just spam X here. Try and push him as far along the line as you can before you actually start racing. It'll make it a little bit easier for you in the race because you have less distance to travel. Another tip is press X, or I think it's A for Xbox, in time with your horse hooves hitting the ground, and you'll actually use up a little bit less stamina, because this horse has garbage stamina, and it's really frustrating to beat Dutch unless you have a horse stimulant, which you got off the body back there. So I got lucky right there. For some reason he like hit an invisible wall or something and dipped back some on me, but I beaten him when he didn't do that. And it's just timing your X presses, and you should be running out of stamina right as you make this corner up here. And you'll pop your horse stimulant to make it so you have extra stamina, and just push all the way through, and you should be running out of your core on your horse right about when you hit camp, as you'll see. And that's as many tips as I have for getting the gold medal on this mission. It was really frustrating for me, took me a bunch of tries, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you do, give me a like, feel free to comment. I try and reply to all of them on my channel. Have a great day.